to the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Bellomo, where we discuss all things estate planning and elder law, and, well, anything else we want to talk about. Now, today is actually going to fall under the elder law category and the Medicaid planning area, so this will follow right in line with our podcast, and I'm very excited. I have a dear friend with me today, Amber Hinds. I met Amber in, like 2009, Amber?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's awesome. So how are you doing today?
I'm great. I got a full night's sleep last night, so I'm doing well.
Yeah, so I want to congratulate Amber. She has like a 3-month-old. Am I right, Amber?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And another child at home, too. So certainly juggling a bunch of different things at the moment. But congratulations. We're really excited for you. And Amber has become pretty much an extension of our firm. We do a lot of work together, and we'll talk a little bit about that today on the podcast. So I met Amber at a national conference, I believe in 2009. I'm pretty sure it was Jersey City, if I'm actually pointing out the conference that we met at, right? And we have worked together pretty much ever since, with just a small hiatus when you were transitioning jobs and, in a non-compete, which we completely honored. But other than that, we have worked together pretty much that entire time. It's been awesome. I still remember that weekend, and it was wonderful to meet you. And then we've seen each other at different conferences. But so, Amber, tell us a little bit about what you do and what Ashber does and what you do for the community.
Yeah, so thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast today. We're really excited about it. My name, again, is Amber Hinds, and I'm the owner of Ashber. We specialize in Medicaid-compliant annuities, and so we help law firms to get their clients eligible for Medicaid and long-term care facilities by using specific types of insurance products that help to qualify their clients for Medicaid.
Yep, awesome. And so, the office internally does the Medicaid application, and then the team members that work directly with Amber and securing the part that we call as the asset protection piece. I don't know if that's the technical term, but that is the piece that Amber has the magic and the magic sauce behind and is able to secure that stuff. And it is so technical. I punt to people who are far smarter than me. So my dad always told me, surround yourself with people smarter than you, and I certainly have done that. So in all aspects of our team and certainly working with Amber. So it works out well. And Amber, how does the relationship typically work with the attorneys that you work with? You just have a team member that works with you directly generally, and then you just work with them and then coordinate it that way?
Yeah, so a lot of times it's a paralegal or another team member that's reaching out to me, and they'll send me a set of case facts as far as the client's information, what kind of assets they have, what they're paying for, their cost of care, and then I will put together a proposal that will help to kind of pinpoint what we can do as far as an insurance product to help qualify that client for Medicaid pretty much immediately and get them benefits right away.
That is awesome. Yeah. And I never asked you this, so I don't know the answer. How did you get into it? Like, what was it about this area that kind of intrigued you? I assume it because you love it, and I can see how happy you are when I talk to you. So what brought you there?
Yeah, so I actually was a finance major in college, and I did my internship with the company that I previously worked with, and it really was it was a very steep learning curve because at the time there wasn't a whole lot of people that were out there doing this type of planning. I mean, if you Googled Medicaid planning, there wasn't a whole lot that really came up at the time. And so it was really interesting to kind of learn from the very beginning as far as this type of planning that is out there. And when I saw the need for long-term care planning and how expensive it can be, it really kind of just intrigued me to really make this my career and to I just really love what I do, and I love the law firms that I work with. So knowing that I'm helping clients to be able to afford long-term care, that's kind of where it all started almost 20 years ago now. So
yeah, that is awesome. And I am really excited, and I didn't even tell Amber this yet, but I will be in her area where she lives currently in like 2 or 3 weeks. So I am looking forward to hopefully catching up with her and saying hello to her and her husband. And I'm very excited about that. So we'll definitely chat about that offline. But I just remembered, holy cow, I'm going to be there soon teaching. I have to make sure we catch up. So just any opportunity I get to spend time with Amber, and it's just a wonderful time. And so for the attorneys across the country that listen to my podcast, are you taking on more attorney law firms to work with as far as this type of work?
Yes, definitely. We are actually looking at making some additions to our team presently to be able to work with more law firms. We have been getting more and more firms that are reaching out to us across the country just based on the insurance companies that we work with and the service that we provide. We try and get back to people the same day with proposals as far as qualifying their clients for Medicaid, knowing that all of this is very time sensitive. So definitely interested and looking forward to being able to work with more law firms.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, I'm not quite in the day-to-day of this stuff as much as I used to be years and years ago, but I remember I would send her an email, and she could be on the road at a conference. She would have her laptop on her knees, and she'd be answering me, and then I would realize where she is, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I didn't mean for you to. She's like, no, that's what I do. Like, and that has not changed one bit. Like, I always tell law firms that call me to kind of, like a reference check. I don't know if that's the right term, but they'll ask questions, and I'm like, look, you will not find better customer service of anybody in the entire world, including me. And I like to consider myself pretty good too. And Amber makes me look like I don't get back to people, and I call within the same day, but she's just ridiculous. But it's great. She's right. It is time sensitive.
Kind of a funny story on that. My husband refers to my computer as my other boyfriend because I often take it to bed with me. So.
Oh no, that's hilarious. Yeah, I mean it's unreal. I don't remember. It was a few years ago, but there was a case that we had a change at the last minute. I don't remember the facts. I don't remember the situation, but I remember emailing you at like 9:00 at night, and the meeting was at like 9 or 10 in the morning. I mean, it was a ridiculous turnaround, and I told the client, I said, I don't know that we're going to be able to do this meeting in the morning. We might have to wait a few more days. You're just going to have to pay privately, but I could not expect, to be able to run these numbers and hear back from my contact this quickly. I mean, this is ridiculous. Sure enough, 35 minutes later, an email comes back with the revised numbers, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I know that story to be true. She is not lying that she brings it to bed. It was unreal to me that you were able to do that. And I hate doing that. I always tell people, your procrastination does not make an emergency for me.
Yeah.
But, I appreciate that you get the sensitivity, and I certainly set the expectations that I wasn't making any promises. The other fun fact that I kind of wanted to talk about was our Medicaid coordinator in our office, Deb, is a dear friend of Amber's, and I called Amber one day out of the blue. Hadn't talked to her in a couple months, and like I said, my team kind of does all the contacts with her and works out to her directly. And I just reached out, hey, how are you? And I'm looking for somebody at Medicaid. Do you know somebody? And she's like, yeah, I might. Can I call you back? And sure enough, she called me back, and lo and behold, I start talking to Deb that night as she was bringing her son to a dance, and I think she was dropping them off at Olive Garden. Like, I remember this like it was yesterday, and she's now been with us for several years, and she is a rock star. And on the podcast that we did with Deb, she also kind of talked about that and how cool it was that it was someone that she trusted as well. Amber saying, yeah, these guys are good and they're trustworthy. But do you remember that by chance?
I do. Yeah, it's interesting because from time to time I get law firms that will ask me if I know of anybody that has any background in the Medicaid industry. And if I do, I'm happy to connect them. So yeah, we still talk to Deb, obviously, on a daily basis, but I'm so glad that worked out.
Oh, she's a rock star, man. She is a rock star and shares all of our core values. And, I generally say, I hire for personality, character, the right person, and then you can train anything. But certainly having somebody who has all of that as well as a little bit of knowledge is a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. And so that worked out. That couldn't have worked out any better. So it was incredible. So Amber, tell us, what do you do for fun? I mean, I realize you have 2 young kids, so I imagine that might be different than what you would have answered 10 years ago, but
Yeah, so my husband and I are both pretty big into fitness. So
Yeah.
we enjoy going to CrossFit classes right away in the morning together if we're able to. So that's something that we really enjoy. Where we live right now in Georgia, we're about 3 hours away from the beach. So when we're able to get away and go to the beach, we enjoy that as a vacation. And then I'm originally from Green Bay, Wisconsin. So all of my family is still up in Wisconsin. And when we're able to go back up there and spend time, especially in the summertime when we're not freezing our behinds off in the wintertime, we really enjoy summers up in Wisconsin. So, um,
Yeah.
really anything that we can enjoy as a family. Fitness is a big part of our life, but yeah, that's kind of just what we enjoy to do on our free time. So,
That is the one thing I remember vividly when we would be at these conferences together. You know, you working out and just so focused, and even your eating and just everything was just so spot on. And I was like, wow, you know, I aspire to be her. And you know, it's a lifestyle, and you live it, you breathe it, and you just had two children, and it's incredible that you're back that quick and able to do it with your husband. That's awesome.
yeah, it was. So we were actually doing Orange Theory with my first, with when I was pregnant with our first son, and that was a really good experience. And then with our second one, I was doing CrossFit up until I think 2 days before I gave birth. And so everything that we do as far as working out wise has been able to be modified based on me being pregnant and then coming back after having a baby. So it's been great.
I didn't know that. Holy cow. Wow. It doesn't surprise me one bit. I don't know why I'm surprised, but that is so cool. So, how are you generally finding new law firms? Is it just, I think you mentioned earlier that they're just finding you, seeking you out because of the companies you're working with? Are you still going to these national events or not as much? Or
Yeah, so we are still sponsoring national events, and I actually have two attorneys that will travel for me if I'm unable to. So the National NALA event that's coming up in a few weeks in Puerto Rico, I'm super disappointed that I can't be in Puerto Rico, but we're sending two of the attorneys that we work with to represent Ashber. So we are still actively sponsoring different conferences. We'll be sponsoring the Pennsylvania PBI event in July, I think it is. So
Yep.
it really just kind of depends on the timing as far as whether I personally am able to travel, but we are still actively sponsoring these conferences. And we get a lot of our new clients just from word of mouth. One law
Okay.
firm really enjoys working with us, and they'll tell their other colleagues and their friends about us. And that's, I would say, the biggest referral source or source of new clients for us is just word of mouth.
Yeah, and I know, I have a big mouth, so I certainly tell anybody who will listen to me. But I'm sure some of my friends who I coach and who I teach, and just some of them that we do masterminds with, I'm sure they're tired of me. But when you find something that works and that you believe in, why not share it? Especially if you know that it works and you trust them and the service, and you're second to none. So to me, it's a no-brainer, and there's no reason not to. And actually, I just signed up, I think yesterday, for the conference that you're referring to at the end of July. So I will be there as well. So if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. But I will certainly come by and say hello to you or whoever is at that table for that conference. So that'll be fun. That'll be great to catch up with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very cool. And your oldest son, how old is he now?
So he is two. He will actually be two tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll celebrate.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So
Oh gosh,
yeah, he's a ball of personality. That's for sure. He's
is he?
yeah, yeah. He's going through the stage where he wants to do everything himself. So he does
Yeah.
not want help with anything.
Oh man, that is crazy. Yeah, that's a great age though, and it gets a little rough, and then it gets wonderful. So it's kind of the circle of life, I think. So I did forget. I do want to say this out loud because I forgot to mention it earlier. As always, please do not take legal advice from this show or any other show for that matter. If you're looking for legal advice, please reach out to an attorney licensed in your state to assist you with the matter that they focus on, that they specialize in, and that they do on a daily basis. Just as a good disclaimer to remember, if you happen to be in Pennsylvania and you're looking for some advice in the estate planning and elder law area, we would be honored. We do cover the entire state, and we would be able to assist you. We offer weekly workshops in the estate planning area, the crisis Medicaid planning area, as well as special needs planning, probate administration, and trust administration, and they are all free, complimentary. So we would love to have you. If we don't have a live one coming up soon, we will certainly be able to get you a link of one recorded to watch in the comfort of your home. I believe wholeheartedly that what happened to my family not knowing the answers is not going to happen to another family in the future. So please, if you're looking for any information in those areas, if you have a loved one who is in a nursing home or will be shortly, it is not too late. The number one thing that I hear people say is, well, they're already there, so it's too late. That doesn't mean it's too late. It is not too late. Essentially, the only time it's too late is when there's no money left. As long as there's something there to protect, we still have a way to do it and a way to assist. And that is exactly where Amber comes in. So I thought it would be great for this podcast to bring her on so you can hear her voice. For those of you watching this on the videos, you're seeing her face and you'll know that she is there, and she'll be the person that we will be working behind the scenes with. We will actually be directly contacting with Amber, but certainly I don't think it hurts to know how wonderful she is and how great she is and what great hands we are all in, us included. So I did want to make sure that I did that disclaimer as well. So Amber, just out of curiosity, I mean, I know you work with a lot of firms, and I don't even know how to ask the question. Like, what is it when you work with us? I mean, we've worked together for a lot of years. Anything that strikes you working with our team or working with anyone in particular, me or Deb or whatever on the team? I don't know. I'm kind of throwing you a curveball here, but...
Yeah, I mean, I just think that you can really tell when you're working with a law firm, the law firms that are there to do the best thing that's in the best interest of the client and that really care about the clients. And I always get that feeling, obviously, from you and from every member on your team. So I really enjoy working with law firms that are there to do what's in the best interest of the client and to really help people.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it certainly helps, nowadays with Deb being here, being a good friend of yours and your sister as well, I understand, right? Like they live kind of in the same area still?
They do, yeah. So Deb will actually, if I need her to run over to our office where we receive applications, she'll do that for us. If my sister who lives in Wisconsin is away for some reason. So yeah, they talk all the time, and we're all good friends from our previous employer. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I love that. That just always cracks me up. I'll be talking to Deb and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm running over to Amber's sister's house to pick up some things," and I'm like, "Oh, cool! Like that is so awesome." I just think it's all. I mean, not often, but when you guys are away or if something's going on, I know she's always happy to help out. And from the podcast that we did with Deb, many of our listeners know she is an avid dog lover. Amber was telling me before we got on the podcast today that she has a new puppy that she is assisting with, and she fosters a lot of animals and was up like 8 times a few nights ago. And you're like, wow, that's more than what I am with my newborn. So yeah, it is so crazy. But she certainly loves her dogs and does such a great thing fostering and helping and doing that. She's a wonderful human. And, again, I can't thank you enough for the introduction. So, well, is there anything else that you want to make sure you talk about? How would my attorney friends that are listening to this find you if they were looking for you?
Yeah, so if you just go to our website at ashber.com, it's ashber.com. We have a bunch of helpful resources there as far as state Medicaid numbers for qualifying your clients for Medicaid. We do monthly webinars that are free for all of the law firms that we work with, as well as financial advisors if you work with any advisors that are interested in this type of planning. So visit our website at ashber.com and you can find a lot of helpful resources there.
That's awesome. It's a great website. And again, I cannot say enough wonderful things about Amber. Thank you for joining us on the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, Amber. I really had a lot of fun. I knew I would. I knew it would go fast. I knew we would kind of enjoy the time together. So Thank you to my listeners for listening to the Red Wagon Estate Planning and Elder Law Show, hosted by me, yours truly, Jeffrey Bellomo, where we discuss all things estate planning and elder law, and, well, hey, anything else we want to talk about. Today's podcast was with Amber Hinds, the owner of Ashber, which assists law firms across the country with being able to secure Medicaid-compliant annuities, to do asset protection planning for their clients, to be able to preserve assets if somebody is in a nursing home. Again, it is not too late if you or a loved one is already in a nursing home or will be being placed shortly. Please reach out to our office at Bellomo Associates. You can find us at www.bellomoassociates.com or 717-845-5390, and we'll be able to assist you. As always, please remember not to take anything you hear from this show or any other show for that matter as legal advice. This is for informational and educational purposes only. If you're looking for information and you're in the state of Pennsylvania, please join us for one of our upcoming workshops in estate planning, Medicaid crisis planning, special needs planning, probate administration, or trust administration. We would love to assist you. Thanks so much for coming, Amber. Thank you to my listeners, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Until next time, we'll see you real soon.